What if Izuku Midoriya had Muscular's quirk? Hey guys, what is up? This is Sinister Kato with a video about what if Izuku Midoriya was born with a quirk. It's not just any quirk, it is Muscular's quirk. If you guys are wondering, boy, how did Deku wound up with a quirk similar to Muscular's? Well, let me explain it to you. A child's quirk can be determined by the parent's quirk and genes. It is only natural to get a quirk similar to your parents. It is a bit unusual to get a quirk that is fused by both of your parents' quirk. Which is why Endeavor has 4 kids, just to try and get Todoroki. As you can see, there is a pretty rare chance that there would be a new quirk that will be manifested. In this story, this happens to our friend, Izuku Midoriya. So let's get right into the video. Izuku Midoriya was just a boy who dreamed about being like his favorite hero, All Might. He was the biggest fanboy, to such as imitating him. Due to this, Deku developed a hobby of smiling whenever he is nervous or frightened. He just smiles. He basically has the same personality as Mirio and All Might. They all want to save people with a smile despite being scared by their opponents, or when they want to give up. Author's note, this is what Izuku's body would look like when he activates his quirk. He would basically look like Muscular. So let's continue with the story. At the age of 4, Deku was doubted as a quirkless wimp by his peers. It's due to his quirk not manifesting yet. He tried so hard to prove to his friends that he will soon activate his quirk. He fantasies about a quirk similar to his father. It was one faithful morning that Deku activated it. Muscle fibers started coming out of his skins and started to cover his arm. Filled with euphoria, he rushed to his mother and told her the good news. Deku has finally manifested his quirk. Shocked, his mother quickly took him to a doctor, a different one from the main timeline. Worried, Ainko asked the doctor about her son. Smiling, the doctor told Ainko that Deku has developed a strong quirk different from both parents. It was an abnormality. He developed a new quirk. It was muscle augmentation. This quirk allows the user the ability to manipulate and amplify their muscles. Muscle fibers can be enlarged to where they can no longer be contained by the skin. This grants its user great strength and offensive durability, as well as enhanced speed and agility. Izuku, snooping around, heard this and asked if he could be strong like All Might. The doctor smiled. Yes, young man. With that quirk, you could possibly be as strong as him. Deku smiled and shouted that he would be the next symbol of peace. The doctor did give him some advice though, that he should exercise and train his muscles. Deku tells Bakugo, after going to the hospital, Deku met up with Bakugo and told him the good news. Not only did he manifest his quirk, it was a really strong one. Bakugo chuckled and told Deku to show it. He tried so hard, but his quirk just won't activate. Bakugo laughed and showed Deku his quirk and told him that he just needs a demonstration. Bakugo, huh? Seems like you need a demonstration, Deku. What about you feel my explosion? As Bakugo tried to explode Deku, muscle fibers rushed out of Izuku and covered his body with it. This shocked both of them. Both kids were fascinated about it. They both jumped in the air and said, "Whoa." Bakugo laughed and said, "See, I told you. You just needed a little demonstration." Deku replied with a soft thank you. This is where their little rivalry begins. Sludge attack. Few years later, this is what Izuku looks like. Young All Might with Deku's face. Izuku is taller and stronger than the original timeline. I would say he would 182 centimeters like me. Enough talking, let's get right into his classroom. An old man walked in and said, "It is your last year here, but we all know you guys are trying to get into a hero course." As he threw papers into the air, everyone screamed and activated their quirk. Deku and Bakugo chuckled. Bakugo said, "Teach, don't mix me and Deku with these bunch of weaklings. We are going to U-pointer." It was true. Deku and Bakugo were the strongest in their middle school. They had a bigger chance on getting accepted in U-pointer. Smiling, Deku pointed, "And I would be the one who rises into the top." Smirking, Bakugo replied, "Not when I'm around, you're not. I shall be the one in the top." Both Deku and Bakugo went to a fighting stance. The whole class gathered and tried to separate them both, trying to stop them from fighting. To avoid troubles, their teacher let everyone go home early for the day. Deku and Bakugo gathered and smiled. It was their plan to create a distraction so that they can be sent out early just to train. Author's note, both Deku and Bakugo are friends on this story. They both have a rivalry going on. Bakugo hates Izuku for being stronger than him. Whilst walking home, Deku told Bakugo to go ahead with the others because he had forgotten something. Walking through the tunnel bridge, Deku was ambushed by a sludge villain. Without knowing, he accidentally activated his quirk to protect himself. Sludge villain quickly laughed and said, "AAAH, such a strong quirk, I'll be a good use of that." Deku was annoyed by it, the thought of someone trying to use him. He smiled and said, "Well, too bad, you're gonna end up hurting yourself, ahaha." Deku transformed to his missile form, which was similar to Muscular's physique. He later started punching the sludge villain. It didn't affect him at all. Still annoyed, Deku punched it as hard as he could, making small air pressure, making the sludge scatter around. All Might came popping out of nowhere and shouted, "Do not fear. I'm here." When he landed, Deku already defeated the sludge villain and was halfway through trapping it in a bottle. All Might looked in confusion and asked, "Were you the person who defeated him?" Deku, confused, excitedly said, "Yes. Sorry, I had used my quirk in the public. It was self-defense." All Might didn't care. He just wanted to know if Izuku was alright, which he was. All Might asked Deku about his quirk. Smiling, Deku said, "My quirk is muscle augmentation. It allows me to generate muscle fibers and manipulate them freely." He gave All Might a quick brief description about what he can do and showed it to him. Amazed and fascinated, All Might knew that this kid was not only strong and cheerful, he might even surpass him one day with his quirk. Deku later asked to get an autograph. Worried about his buffed form, All Might signed it quickly and took off. Unknowingly, Deku accidentally grabbed All Might's leg. The same scenario happens, and they arrive on a building's roof. All Might said, "That's dangerous, young man. Don't ever do that again." Izuku frantically replied, "I'm sorry, sir. I accidentally grabbed you." All Might, "I'm sorry, but I don't have time. I must go wait," yelled the green-headed boy. "Do you think I can be a good hero with a quirk like mine?" With a long pause, All Might replied with a big cheer and yes. "With your quirk, kid, you might as well surpass me one day. Just use it for good doings." Deku smiled, but unfortunately All Might had turned to his normal self. Nervously, Izuku smiled and asked if that's actually him. All Might was shocked. This kid wasn't shocked or afraid of what happened. Rather, he felt a small resemblance of himself in him. All Might told Deku about the incident that happened to him and why he can't fight that much anymore. He explained that he has a time limit due to his injuries. Suddenly, an explosion happened in the background. All Might noticed that he dropped the bottle. Deku, sad and afraid, apologized and offered All Might a ride. to see what is happening. All Might wanted to see what Izuku can do and agreed. Deku's muscle fibers popped out and covered himself with it. This gives him strength and durability to jump onto buildings' roofs. Amazed, All Might said, "Kit, you are amazing." Izuku was smiling and said, "I learned it from the best, which is you, All Might." After arriving, both of them saw what was happening and were horrified. Someone was kidnapped. That someone was Bakugo. He was wreaking havoc with his quirk, trying to free himself from the sludge monster. Watching, Deku knew that All Might cannot save him because he used his limit. Angered by the heroes for not doing anything, Deku transformed to his muscular form and quickly phased through the crowd. He quickly confronted the villain. "Let go of him right now, and it won't happen to you again," warned Deku, getting ready to fight. "You think you can defeat me again? I now hold a powerful tool with an amazing quirk," laughed the villain. Bakugo had that distinct look on Izuku. He was asking for some help. "Okay then, you're lost," smiled Deku. Izuku started fighting with the sludge monster. He quickly grabbed Bakugo and tried to hide away. All Might was so inspired that he went plus ultra. He quickly went to his buffed form and grabbed both young Midoriya and Bakugo from getting hit. He punched the sludge monster so hard that he nearly killed him and scattered his body around everywhere. Air pressure came out and cleared the sky. Rain started dropping. Everyone cheered for All Might. Both Deku and Bakugo were praised and scolded at the same time. Izuku was asked to join some of the pros agency, but he rejected it politely. Hours later, whilst walking home, Bakugo turned around to Izuku and said, "This would be the last time you save me, Deku. You hear me?" Smiling, Deku knew that this was a challenge. He agreed and said, "Okay Kaken, surpass me. I won't go easy on you after the 10 month of training. I would rise to the top before you." They later parted ways. All Might met up with Deku. "All Might, what are you doing here?" asked Deku. "Young man, your actions were very hero-like. Unlike the pros, who were doing nothing and watched." All Might explained. "You have inspired me with your courageous action and made me plus ultra." He cheered. "I'm here to take you as a discipline and has chosen you as a successor of my quirk." Smiling, Deku was actually clueless. He just nodded his head. "Meet me on the beach, filled with trash tomorrow. I will be training you." Training. I can't really be asked to write the following scene, so I will just show you. The scene, Deku meet All Might and his training montage. 6 months into the training, Izuku has already cleared all the trash without using his quirk. All Might met him in the morning of his success. Roaring, Izuku's muscle fibers were popping everywhere. He was generating more than he could, passing his limit. All Might was very proud and quickly caught Izuku before he fell. "Well done, young man, you have cleared the whole beach. Remember when I said that you shall inherit my quirk? Eat this," All Might said, holding a piece of his hair. "What?" Deku asked. "Well, to be precise, you got to have my DNA in you to inherit it." "Okay, here goes nothing." Deku ate the thing and choked on it for a while. He nearly died. The end. I'll show you guys what happens later into the story with the remaining 4 months. Please like and share this video. Comment if you want something new and don't forget to subscribe. Sinister CCATTO out.